Hi, welcome to Dale McCluskey's Dog Training. My name is Dale McCluskey, and I'd like to talk a few minutes about this whole issue about how to really apply method to my system, how to get started, how to change the whole dynamic of your relationship with your dog, and because really to understand the dog and human relationship is to know that this relationship goes beyond what's seen, beyond appearances, and that's why so many trainers and dog owners are getting sidetracked through this conditioning roadmap. They're getting sidetracked through how we think in the context of what does bonding represent and with your dog. Dogs are pack animals. Dogs really, it's all about nature. It's about strength and weakness through nature. It's about the whole person, the whole being, and a lot of times what really is happening. A lot of people are using behavioral science as a crutch, as a backdrop, and there's a deception in that. There really is. There's a delusion, there's a deception in that. If you don't go any deeper to really bring to the surface how a dog's mind is governed and influenced, and what do behavior issues represent. And again, this is something where many years ago I started really confronting, challenging these issues, looking at the contradictions that are there, the reasons why some owners were failing, some were succeeding within systems of training. And my whole background experience came through the handling and training police dogs. You know, and trust me, it's like, you know, when you really want to gain insight and put your life on the line with your dog, you trust your dog to that level, you're going to gain a level of insight that others are not going to gain, because you're really kind of what you're doing is, when police dog handlers know this, they're investing everything in the relationship. They're putting their entire trust into the relationship because everything's on the line. Everything is there, and if you don't really push the boundaries, if you really don't understand this relationship at the deepest level, success and failure represent something totally different. Because you're out doing things, you're on the front lines. So all my insight, all my knowledge base came from the depth of this type of relationship with my first police dog, with Reuben. And so when I created this system, I developed it, I started challenging some of these contradictions and beyond devices. And this is the thing about the appearances in the surface, which I've discussed in my other videos. I'm going to keep discussing, keep talking about, to really, what I'm hoping these videos will do, these series of videos, is cause some trainers, some dog owners to take another step back and start to look at the connection issue, start to look at the personality type of dog owners. And when I released my study, it's in my book called The Mind and Body Connection. This study is very in-depth, involves over 1,000 dogs, and because I show the issue, even gender, how men think differently than women. It's not a sexist statement, because everyone's an individual. I mean, I truly believe that every dog owner has it in them. No matter what your current situation is right now, you have the ability to change it. You have the ability to overcome it. You have the ability to be successful. Now, I've never met a dog owner yet that hasn't been, that I felt they had the potential to do it. So, and the difference, and this is the thing that I'm really focusing on too through these series of videos, is the having the right information. Because what's happening is a lot of dog owners are failing, not because they have the right information, because they have the wrong information, and they don't even have a chance to succeed even if they wanted to. At least with this system of training, if you fail, which certainly, my focus is for people not to fail, you're going to be standing on your own 2 feet here, because you're going to have the right information. Because information is power. It empowers having the right information. So I care deeply about dogs. I care deeply about helping dog owners. And, my system has a tough love approach to it. And I do confront these issues because ultimately I want people to be successful. And so it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You have the opportunity to succeed, and we'll get into this whole starting point and psychology of this, but every day is another step forward, and that's how you have to approach training. because really it is about changing how you think, because that's where strength comes from. That's where, you know, getting you in competition to take the lead role. You have to start to understand what does dominance really represent, and beyond the rhetoric and the sales pitch and how it's twisted and turned. You know, what does it represent? It's like, what you're doing is you're firming up your parental role. It's like being a parent. You're firming up that role. You're confronting power, which is the problem, and you're bringing your dog in alignment. You put it in, you're shifting, you're creating role change. You're shifting your dog into a follower role. So the whole thing is, you know, and this is the thing to understand, is once I get involved, and how my training system is more perceived as, it's a intervention. You know, at that level, it's an intervention. You can take any ritual, any interaction. If you look at the psychology, the ebb and flow of the psychology, you'll get your answer as to why people succeed and why others fail using the exact same methods and techniques. The people, dog trainers, dog owners, have their eyes on the wrong hand. It's like a magic trick. You know, they're being distracted. They're not watching the real agent of change, which is the mind-body connection. And so, you know, it really confronts people on this, because it's why, you know, so many people are failing. And so, you know, I just want to encourage you as you watch these videos, there is hope here, but you have to trust what I'm saying. You got to put aside, you know, all this other stuff, foolishness that you're hearing about dominance and what it represents, because people are exploiting it. People don't understand it, and they don't understand because they don't understand the depth of the connection. They're separating the relationship. They're not looking at the whole here, what nature represents. So as you're doing through my system, my methods, what I recommend through these videos, it's all about changing how you think. It's about every day you're taking baby steps. You're doing a little bit, because really psychology involved here. If you're more of a permissive or more, you know, it's not used to be a slam. I'm not here to slam people, but I gotta get people out of how they think. Really do. Really, the goal here is so you don't have nothing to hold on to, so you can change. But you know, the whole thing here is you know, if your psychology is more permissive, more emotional, you're going to be more reactive. I mean, you're not going to react a certain way. You're going to be more laid back. You're going to be more thinking emotion, connecting with your dog that way. And that's the weakness level. I mean, that's what dogs. I mean, dogs. You will become objectified. Your dog will actually hang around you for the wrong reasons. They look at you as they own you. They're objectifying you. They have you boxed. They have you pegged. So the goal here is to break out of that, break free from that, and start to, you know, adopt, you know, become meaningful, and so that you can, you know, not just get your needs met, you can meet your dog's needs as well. I mean, that's what the goal is here. So everyone gets their needs met, and everybody wins. So, but to do that, you have to give your dog the pink slip. Your dog's got to get their walking paper, so to speak, through the relationship. They have to be told, hey, listen, this is done. I'm taking the lead role here, because it's not healthy for you to have that role. It's causing problems. You get all these behavior issues. If you think of all the behavior issues, this is what I tell people, you think of all the behavior issues that you're dealing with right now. They're like branches from a tree. They all are associated to influence, a high level of influence. That's a spillover effect. And so it's going to come out stronger in certain areas, because it's like steroids. Dogs are going to feed and fuel off that. So what I recommend is in order, the first step here is to create an advantage. And that's why I recommend that people get a crate at first. I mean, of course, dogs are going to hate the crate. I mean, a dog holding power, once you step into this, and this is an intervention, and once you start changing the script, the dog's going to hate it. That's the thing. That's why the walk, if you're walking a dog holding power, and so you go from emotion to, you know, because dogs know the intent of the mind. They know where it's heading. So that's why you get this reaction. And that's why trainers get all caught up in exploiting learning and how dogs learn. I talk about this in my videos, how they're exploiting all that. I mean, you know, that's why there's a split off here with conditioning. It splits away. The meaningful influence takes hold or it won't, but it becomes through the whole person. So the goal here is to really get you aligned, get your thinking more connected, aligned in a way that's going to create meaningful change, so it's going to take hold. So by following my recommendations, and start to work every day, you're doing a little bit, you'll reach that goal. But you have to really challenge yourself. You have to start to become the parent more. So even with you know, using the crate. The crate is a good, how I use the crate, explain the crate, how I use it. It's meant to be more of a jumping off point. It's more It's used in this role-changing process. It's not meant to stay around forever. However, you do need, at first, you need to gain advantage. You need to start to take away your dog, because what dogs will do is once they gain a certain level of power, they reaffirm that. I mean, they'll go to doorways, they'll go to all these places. They start to really expand. This is how their mind goes. It's all, influence is all part of it. And when trainers talk about dogs taking over the world, it's foolishness. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, they'll just take everything because they don't really understand how behaviors link in. They humanize behavior. But what happens with the dog, dogs are really, they are connected to roles. So the roles really dictate how their mind is influenced and where it goes. And so the first thing you need to do is, if we're going to create role change, you need to start using the crate. Start nudging your dog's mind. Get your dog into that crate. Don't bribe or treat it. Now use treats to get it in there, because the thing is, you want to change your psychology. You want to get rid of anything that's going to keep the tachometer of your mind aligned with emotion right now. Because emotion has created the problem too much through personality type. So you need to start to get the tachometer moving. You want to start to work it, heat it up, get it over to the right side, to the left side. So every day, that's what you're doing. But you need to change the script. Your dog has to know they got their pink slip. They're being moved down into another job. So even this transition, there's going to be a not liking. The dog isn't going to like it, because if you're exposing a certain level of power, you're in competition now. You're going to get a reaction that your dog's going to, I joke with dogs, your dog should hate your guts for 2 to 3 weeks if you're doing my method right. I mean, but it's not about human love and like, it's about nature. I mean, this is where the whole thing about love, it goes deeper, because what you're doing is you're investing into the relationship. You're investing yourself. You got both feet in nature. So, you know, you have to look at this as it's the greater good. You're going to help your dog, because if your dog has the lead role, they're not truly happy. They're stressed out. This is where the anxiety comes from. What looks like fear, that's another issue we're going to talk about in these videos. It's all dominance, believe it or not. I know that will blow some people's minds, but you know, when you really understand it, you will see it. It's how the mind reacts, where it goes based on the script. And because you think about this one contradiction, a dog's going to be, you know, aggressive, all these behavior issues. It's fearful 1 second, it's trying to rip your arms off the next. I mean, they call this fear aggression. No, don't label it. It's dominance. It's all part of the same thing. The solution's the same. To take the role from the dog. So you have to, but the crate is a starting point. You need to start to shrink your dog's world. That's the goal here. Your dog's world shrinks right now because they have all the power. They're in the lead role. So you want to shrink the world as you're creating role change, and then their world expands again slowly, but as a follower. And you're going to make more headway that way, because right now the dogs seek out power. They want to hang in the areas. They want to reaffirm that, so they'll jump on people. You want to control bad outcomes. So you need to expose, and this is the other thing, you need to expose the problem in order to fix it. I mean, if you're more, you could be, objectified in the relationship, everything can look kind of fine, and that's why, but you have to really expose this power problem. Your dog should hate your guts if you're doing it, because you're exposing the issue. You're challenging. And this is where the leash comes in. Getting a hold of your dog, my method, is you have to start to put influence. You have to close the holes in your psychology. So every day, like I said, every day it's a little bit, because the whole thing about success is you have to have a plan of action in place. I mean, that's what this whole system's about. It's about having a plan of action, so that it's a framework, so that every day you have the course is charted, the journey's laid out, and it's just a matter of you just sticking to it. So the first thing I recommend is you get a crate. You start using that crate, get your dog in there, and then you're going to start putting method. You're going to start to, and this is where you can watch my other videos, you'll see me creating these, I call them follower states. Look beyond the leash, it's psychology here, folks, so it's not, people freak out to see the leash or me pushing on the dog or flexing the leash a little bit. The whole technique is not meant to rip your dog's head off here. In fact, in 18 years of handling dogs and using these methods, I've only been bitten one time and not even the skin broken. Now, I expect to get bit. Now, that's not a bragging rights here. I don't go in and brag about, but if you really know nature, you really know what's going on, you should very rarely get bitten. You really should, because the leash is your friend. Everything you're doing, because you're doing it smart. This system approaches everything, does things a smart way. So, because the whole thing is, you shouldn't get bit, and no one wants to get bit. And if I came in and was helping a dog owner, and they seen the dog bite me, what does that create? That's going to throw the person's psychology in a tailspin even more. So, That's why I'll handle some dogs. Some dogs I won't handle initially until I create a level of influence through the owner. Then the dog will allow me to handle it. So it's all about being smart. And once you really understand the depth of the connection and what power represents, you get a baseline going and you'll see it. That's why dogs, if you have a puppy and you start to use the leash and your psychology changes, script changes, your dog starts twisting and turning, freaking out and yelping and all this, that's power, believe it or not. Dogs, puppies right away, they start to grab power. I mean, dogs, bless their hearts, so cute and adorable and all that, but again, that's psychology. Too much emotion, bad, trouble. You know, a little bit of power with some dogs equals big trouble. So if you're not being the parent, the dog will become the parent. So it's the same thing. You have to, so this whole thing is like, crate first, you want to start every day doing a little bit of leash method. You want to start to, you know, heat the mind up, so to speak. You have to start to close the holes over your psychology. So through my method, the leash and how you work the leash and the sit position, all that, I'm going to discuss that here in my next series, my next video I do, but this is just kind of get your mind going here is where I'm coming from, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And I encourage you to this video series I'm going to be putting on my site. It's meant to kind of get you going, get you started. But all the things that keep your mind in emotion that you know locks you into not being a strong parent, you have to start to challenge that. And you know, I have a book there called Mind and Body Connection. If you really confront all this stuff, it takes it right down to the foundation, behavioral science, how things are being exploited. I think oftentimes these trainers don't understand it. I'm not saying a lot of them are doing it on purpose, but they really don't understand the depth of this connection. This system does. This system can help you break out of whatever role you're in. So I just encourage you to watch these videos. The next video series is going to be on the actual technique, leash technique. But again, when you think about method, think psychology. Think about the mind. Think about intent. Dogs really do know your intent, believe it or not, where your mind's headed. But this is through strength and weakness. So again, thanks very much for watching this video. And I encourage you, if you have a behavior issue or problem, to just be hopeful, be encouraged. No matter what your situation is, you truly can break out of it. Like I said before, I've never met a dog owner that I didn't think could do it. It's just a matter of perspective. It's a matter of doing a little bit every day. Don't expect, this is a transitional approach, so, it's not about investing everything in a one moment. This is about changing how you think. So every little bit, you're nudging your own mind forward as you create a balanced dog. So again, thanks very much for watching this video, and I hope you tune in for the rest of my videos, and also check out my website at www.k9pack.com. Thanks very much.